In these 6 captivating stories, we take you from the icy Arctic to the dense Amazon rainforest, where families, explorers, and scientists confront dangerous bear encounters. Experience the tension as a family deals with a polar bear in their kitchen. Scientists in the Amazon fend off a hungry bear, and photographers in Patagonia meet a bear while capturing stunning views. Each story reveals a unique struggle for survival, showcasing bravery and quick thinking. So join us in this video as we cover 6 thrilling bear attack cases. Dive in if you dare. On January 17, 2018, in a small village in Nunavut, Canada, a peaceful family was about to face a night of terror. This family, the Thompsons, had lived in the Arctic village for many years. Michael Thompson, the father, was a skilled hunter and fisherman who knew the land well. His wife, Sarah, was a dedicated mother who cared for their 2 children, Anna and Mark. Anna was 10 years old and Mark was 7. The family had a deep respect for nature and knew the dangers that came with living in such a remote and wild place. The Thompsons' home was a cozy wooden house built to withstand the harsh Arctic weather. It was surrounded by snow and ice, with a view of the endless white landscape stretching out to the horizon. Inside, the house was warm and filled with the smell of wood smoke from the fireplace. The family had just finished dinner and were settling in for the night. The children were tucked into their beds, and Michael and Sarah were enjoying a quiet moment together. The village of Nunavut was small, with only a few families living there. The community was tight-knit, and everyone knew each other. They often gathered for events and supported one another through the challenges of Arctic life. The villagers were accustomed to dealing with the cold, the snow, and even the occasional wild animal sighting. However, no one in the village had experienced what was about to happen to the Thompsons. That night, as the family slept, a polar bear was roaming nearby. The bear was hungry and desperate, searching for food in the bitter cold. It had been a tough winter, and food was scarce. The polar bear's powerful sense of smell led it towards the village, where it caught the scent of food coming from the Thompsons' house. Driven by hunger, the bear approached the house silently, its large paws making no sound on the snow. Inside the house, the family was unaware of the danger lurking outside. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the night, waking them from their sleep. The noise came from the kitchen, where the bear had broken through the door in search of food. The sound of breaking wood and clattering dishes filled the house as the bear rummaged through the kitchen, knocking over furniture and causing chaos. Michael was the first to react. He quickly assessed the situation and knew he had to act fast to protect his family. He could see the large shadow of the bear moving in the kitchen, and his heart raced with fear. He signaled to Sarah to wake the children and get them to safety. Sarah, though terrified, managed to stay calm. She gently woke Anna and Mark, whispering for them to stay quiet and follow her. As Sarah and the children moved towards the window, Michael decided to distract the bear. He grabbed a flashlight and a flare gun, items he kept for emergencies. He shone the flashlight towards the kitchen, hoping to draw the bear's attention away from his family. The bear, attracted by the light, turned its massive head towards Michael, who stood at the edge of the hallway. Michael's heart pounded as he faced the bear, but he knew he had to buy time for Sarah and the children to escape. He waved the flashlight back and forth, creating a distraction. Meanwhile, Sarah managed to open the window quietly and helped Anna and Mark climb out into the cold night. She followed them, making sure they were safe outside before closing the window behind her. With his family safely outside, Michael prepared to scare the bear away. He aimed the flare gun at the ground near the bear and fired. The bright light and loud noise startled the bear, causing it to retreat. The bear backed away, unsure of what had happened. Michael fired another flare, and the bear, now frightened, turned and fled back into the wilderness. The immediate danger was over, but the ordeal shook the Thompson family. They regrouped outside, hugging each other tightly. The sound of the bear's retreating footsteps faded into the night. Michael knew they were safe for now, but the experience left a lasting impact on them all. In the following days, the incident with the polar bear became the main topic of discussion in the small village. Word spread quickly, and the community was abuzz with concern and curiosity. The villagers had always been aware of the risks posed by wildlife, but a bear breaking into a home was a new and frightening event. Everyone wanted to ensure that such a terrifying encounter would not happen again. A community meeting was promptly organized to address the situation. The villagers gathered in the town hall, a small building that served as the heart of their community. It was a place where decisions were made and problems were solved collectively. The meeting was attended by all, from the elders with their wealth of experience to the young children who listened wide-eyed to the discussions. Michael, still recovering from the shock of the incident, was asked to recount what had happened. He stood before his neighbors and described the events of that night in detail. He explained how the bear had broken into the kitchen, the steps he had taken to distract it, and how he had managed to scare it away with the flare gun. His account was met with gasps and murmurs of concern. The village elders, who had lived in the Arctic for many years, shared their wisdom on dealing with wildlife. They emphasized the importance of securing homes and making sure that food was stored safely to avoid attracting animals. The discussion then turned to practical measures that could be implemented to prevent future intrusions. One of the suggestions was to install stronger doors and windows. The villagers agreed that reinforcing the entry points of their homes would make it more difficult for animals to break in. They also discussed the possibility of setting up a system to alert residents in case of wildlife sightings. This would give people a chance to take precautions before a bear or any other dangerous animal got too close. Another idea was to increase the use of deterrents around the village. The community decided to place bear-proof containers for garbage and food storage in key areas. They also considered setting up lights and alarms that would activate if a large animal approached. These measures, they hoped, would help keep both the residents and the wildlife safe. The meeting concluded with a sense of solidarity and determination. The villagers knew that living in the Arctic came with its own set of challenges, but they were committed to supporting each other and finding solutions together. The incident with the bear reminded them of the importance of being prepared and vigilant. Over the next few weeks, the village worked together to implement the new safety measures. Michael and his neighbors reinforced their homes, installed bear-proof containers, and set up alert systems. The sense of community grew stronger as everyone pitched in to help. The children, including Anna and Mark, were taught how to stay safe and what to do if they ever encountered a wild animal. For the Thompson family, the experience had a profound impact. They were grateful to be safe, and the close call made them appreciate their home and each other even more. Michael felt a renewed sense of responsibility to protect his family, and he took extra precautions to ensure their safety. Sarah, too, became more aware of the dangers and was always on the lookout for any signs of wildlife. The village continued to thrive despite the harsh conditions. The encounter with the polar bear became a part of their shared history, a story that was told and retold around the community. It served as a reminder of the resilience and strength of the people living in the Arctic. The measures they had taken not only made their homes safer, but also brought them closer together as a community. As the years went by, the Thompson family never forgot that night. The memory of the polar bear in their kitchen stayed with them, a testament to the unpredictable nature of life in the Arctic. But it also reminded them of their courage and the power of their community to overcome any challenge. The village of Nunavut remained vigilant, always ready to face whatever came their way, united and strong. On July 22, 2019, a group of biologists ventured deep into the Amazon rainforest to study rare species. This dedicated team consisted of Dr. Emily Carter, Dr. Liam Johnson, and their assistant, Maria Torres. Dr. Emily Carter, a renowned botanist, had spent years researching the unique plant life of the Amazon. Dr. Liam Johnson, an expert in animal behavior, had always been fascinated by the diverse wildlife of the rainforest. Maria Torres, a young and enthusiastic assistant, was eager to learn from the experienced scientists. The group had set up camp near a river, surrounded by the lush greenery and the sounds of the jungle. Their tents were pitched under the tall trees, providing them with shelter and a place to store their equipment. The biologists were excited about the opportunity to observe and document rare species in their natural habitat. They had brought with them all the necessary supplies, including food, medical kits, and research tools. The Amazon rainforest was a place of great beauty and mystery. The dense jungle was home to countless species of plants and animals, many of which were yet to be discovered. The river near their camp provided a source of water and a location for observing aquatic life. The team spent their days exploring the jungle, collecting samples and recording their findings. At night, they would gather around a small campfire, discussing the day's discoveries and planning for the next day's adventures. However, the rainforest was also a place of danger and unpredictability. The biologists were well aware of the risks that came with their work. They had taken precautions to avoid encounters with dangerous wildlife, such as keeping their food supplies secured and maintaining a clean camp. Despite their careful planning, they knew that the jungle was home to many animals that could pose a threat. One evening, as the team was preparing dinner, they heard rustling noises coming from the bushes nearby. They dismissed it at first, thinking it was just a small animal. But soon the noises grew louder and they realized something big was approaching. Suddenly, a South American spectacled bear emerged from the jungle, drawn by the scent of their food. The bear, with its thick fur and distinctive markings around its eyes, looked both majestic and menacing. It stood on its hind legs, towering over the camp, and then dropped down on all fours, moving swiftly towards the food supplies. The biologists were stunned, their hearts pounding with fear. The bear's presence was unexpected and terrifying. Before they could react, the bear charged into the camp, knocking over equipment and tearing into the food supplies. In the chaos, Maria was knocked down and injured by the bear's powerful swipe. Dr. Carter and Dr. Johnson quickly grabbed sticks and stones, trying to make loud noises to scare the bear away. They also used the campfire, waving burning sticks to create a barrier between them and the bear. The bear, startled by the fire and the noise, hesitated for a moment. The biologists took this opportunity to regroup and plan their next move. They knew they had to get Maria to safety and provide her with first aid. The bear, still focused on the food, eventually retreated into the jungle, leaving the camp in disarray. As the bear retreated into the jungle, the biologists quickly turned their attention to Maria. She was in pain and had a deep cut on her arm. Dr. Carter and Dr. Johnson acted swiftly, using their medical kit to clean and bandage the wound. They knew they had to get her to a village for proper medical treatment as soon as possible. The team packed their essential belongings and carefully lifted Maria onto a makeshift stretcher. Dr. Johnson led the way through the dense jungle, navigating the thick underbrush and avoiding potential hazards. The journey was slow and challenging, with the oppressive heat and humidity adding to their difficulties. The sounds of the jungle surrounded them, a constant reminder of the wild environment they were in. Hours passed as they made their way through the thick vegetation. Dr. Carter kept a close watch on Maria, ensuring she remained stable and hydrated. The team's determination and teamwork were crucial in keeping their spirits up. They knew that the nearest village was their only hope for getting Maria the help she needed. As the day turned into night, the biologists pressed on, guided by the light of their headlamps. The jungle was even more daunting in the darkness, but they remained focused on their goal. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they saw the faint lights of the village in the distance. The villagers, noticing the injured group, quickly came to their aid. They provided the biologists with food, water, and a safe place to rest. Maria was immediately taken to a local healer who cleaned and dressed her wound properly. The villagers also contacted the nearest hospital to arrange for her transportation. The following morning, a small boat arrived to take Maria to the hospital. Dr. Carter and Dr. Johnson accompanied her, ensuring she received the medical attention she needed. The journey down the river was much quicker than their trek through the jungle, and they reached the hospital within a few hours. The doctors at the hospital treated Maria's injuries, and she began to recover. The harrowing experience left a lasting impact on the biologists. It highlighted the unpredictability of wildlife encounters in the Amazon and the importance of being prepared for any situation. The team learned valuable lessons about the dangers of the jungle and the resilience required to overcome such challenges. Back in the village, the biologists took the time to thank the villagers for their help. The villagers shared stories of their own encounters with wildlife, emphasizing the need for caution and respect for the jungle. The biologists, now more aware of the risks, continued their research with a renewed sense of vigilance and appreciation for the power of nature. As Maria recovered, the team reflected on their experience. They understood the importance of their work and the need to balance their scientific pursuits with the safety of their team. The Amazon rainforest, with its incredible biodiversity and hidden dangers, remained a place of fascination and mystery for them. In the end, the biologists' adventure in the Amazon was a testament to their dedication and courage. They continued their research, but with a deeper understanding of the jungle's unpredictable nature. The memory of the spectacled bear's attack and their struggle to reach safety would always remind them of the delicate balance between humans and the wild. On March 14, 2021, a pair of photographers ventured into the wilds of Siberia to capture its stunning landscapes. This duo, Jack Miller and Lisa Gomez, had been traveling together for years, sharing a passion for nature photography. Jack, an experienced photographer with a keen eye for detail, had always been fascinated by the beauty of remote places. Lisa, with her love for adventure and wildlife, complemented Jack's expertise with her enthusiasm and knowledge of nature. Their journey brought them to a remote lake in Siberia, surrounded by dense taiga forests and overlooked by rugged mountains. The pristine waters of the lake mirrored the snow-capped peaks, creating a perfect setting for their photographs. The area was isolated and serene, far from the noise and distractions of civilization. Jack and Lisa set up their cameras, eager to capture the breathtaking scenery. The duo had spent the past few days exploring the region, waking up early to catch the soft light of dawn and staying out late to photograph the stars. Their days were filled with hikes through the dense forests and climbs up rocky hills, always in search of the perfect shot. They were prepared for the challenges of the wilderness, carrying essential supplies and equipment, including a satellite phone for emergencies. While setting up a shot near the lake, the photographers noticed movement in the nearby bushes. At first, they thought it was a deer or another harmless animal. However, their curiosity quickly turned to alarm as a large Siberian brown bear emerged from the thick underbrush. The bear, massive and powerful, seemed hungry and territorial, sensing intruders in its domain. The Siberian brown bear, with its thick fur and imposing stature, was an intimidating sight. Jack and Lisa knew they had to remain calm, avoiding sudden movements. But the bear, feeling threatened by their presence, started growling and advancing towards them. In a moment of tension, Jack reached for his camera, hoping to document the encounter safely. The bear, perceiving this as a threat, charged at him. Jack was caught off guard as the bear attacked, its massive paws and sharp claws causing serious injuries. Lisa, witnessing the terrifying scene, swiftly grabbed a flare from their emergency kit. She ignited the flare and waved it towards the bear, creating a burst of light and loud noise. Startled and momentarily distracted by the flare, the bear hesitated and then retreated back into the depths of the forest. With the immediate danger gone, Lisa rushed to Jack's side. He was in excruciating pain, his wounds bleeding profusely. Lisa used her first aid skills to clean and bandage his injuries as best as she could. They knew they needed help urgently, so Lisa activated their satellite phone and sent out a distress signal into the remote Siberian wilderness. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the rugged landscape, they waited anxiously for a response. Lisa remained by Jack's side, keeping him warm and as comfortable as possible. The silence was occasionally broken by the distant calls of wildlife, a reminder of the untamed world they were immersed in. As night descended and the air grew colder, Lisa maintained vigilance, tending to Jack's injuries while keeping a small fire burning for warmth and light. Hours passed slowly, filled with tension and hope. They had no choice but to trust in their distress signal, hoping it would reach someone who could assist them in this remote corner of Siberia. Early the next morning, the sound of a helicopter rotor broke the silence. The rescue team had received their distress signal and located their position in the vast Siberian wilderness. The helicopter descended, its rotors kicking up snow and pine needles as it landed nearby. Medics swiftly assessed Jack's condition, stabilizing him and preparing him for evacuation. With Jack safely aboard, Lisa felt a flood of relief and gratitude towards the skilled rescuers. The helicopter lifted off, soaring over the expansive taiga forests and snow-covered peaks of Siberia. Lisa stayed close to Jack, holding his hand tightly as they flew towards the nearest medical facility. Upon arrival at the hospital, Jack underwent surgery to treat his injuries. Lisa anxiously awaited news of his condition, her thoughts consumed with worry and hope. After what seemed like an eternity, a doctor emerged with reassuring news. Jack was out of surgery and expected to make a full recovery. The relief washed over Lisa, overwhelming her with gratitude and relief. In the days that followed, Jack slowly regained his strength while Lisa remained steadfast by his side. The ordeal had tested them both, reinforcing their respect for the unpredictable nature of the wild and the importance of preparedness. They shared their harrowing experience, hoping to educate others about the risks and rewards of exploring remote wilderness areas like Siberia. Their journey through Siberia had left an indelible mark on them, deepening their bond and reaffirming their love for nature and adventure. Despite the dangers they faced, their passion for photography and exploration remained undiminished. They reflected on the photographs they had captured before the bear encounter, each image a testament to the raw beauty and untamed spirit of Siberia. As they prepared to return home, they carried with them not only memories of their Siberian adventure, but also a newfound appreciation for life's fragility and resilience. Their story would serve as a reminder to others that while nature can be awe-inspiring, it demands respect and caution at all times. On December 10, 2020, the Walker family lived in the remote Alaskan wilderness, far from any town or city. The family consisted of John Walker, his wife, Sarah, and their 2 children, Emma and Luke. They had chosen a life of homesteading, living off the land and relying on nature for their needs. Snow-covered trees and mountains, a beautiful but harsh environment surrounded their cabin. The Walkers had prepared well for the winter, storing enough food to last them through the cold months. John, a skilled hunter and fisherman, had caught and stored plenty of fish. Sarah had preserved fruits and vegetables from their summer garden. The family was used to the challenges of living in such a remote area and had learned to be self-sufficient. The cabin, built by John himself, was sturdy and warm. It was their safe haven against the cold and wild. Inside, the walls were lined with shelves filled with jars of preserved food, bags of dried goods, and the fish they had caught and smoked. A wood stove provided heat, and the family often gathered around it to stay warm and share stories. Life in the wilderness had its dangers. The Walkers were aware of the wildlife around them, including wolves, moose, and especially bears. They took precautions to keep their food stored securely and always kept bear spray and other deterrents on hand. Despite these measures, they knew there was always a risk. One winter evening, as the family was settling in for the night, they heard a loud crash from the storage area. Startled, John quickly realized that a grizzly bear had broken into the cabin, drawn by the smell of their stored fish. The bear, large and powerful, was searching for food, and its presence was a threat to the entire family. John knew he had to act fast to protect his wife and children. He grabbed a nearby object to defend them and tried to drive the bear away from the food. The bear, feeling threatened, became aggressive. In the struggle, John sustained severe injuries, but he fought bravely to keep the bear away from his family. Sarah quickly grabbed the bear spray and began spraying it towards the bear. Emma and Luke, frightened but determined to help, made loud noises by banging pots and pans. The combined efforts of the family began to drive the bear back towards the door. The bear, now disoriented and scared, finally retreated from the cabin. Once the bear was outside, the family quickly barricaded the door with whatever they could find. They knew they had to get help for John, who was badly injured. Sarah used the satellite phone to call for emergency assistance, hoping help would arrive soon. The family huddled together, worried but relieved that they had managed to survive the encounter. As the family huddled together, the cold night seemed to stretch on endlessly. They stayed alert, listening for any signs that the bear might return. John's injuries were serious, and Sarah did her best to keep him comfortable and warm. Emma and Luke remained close, their young faces showing both fear and determination. The hours passed slowly, but finally, just before dawn, they heard the distant sound of a helicopter. Relief washed over them as the rescue team arrived, guided by the signal from their satellite phone. The helicopter landed nearby, and the medics quickly assessed John's condition. They carefully moved him onto a stretcher and carried him to the helicopter, ensuring he was stable for the flight. The family watched as the helicopter took off, carrying John to the nearest hospital. Sarah, Emma, and Luke were flown out on a second helicopter, joining John as soon as possible. The journey to the hospital was a mix of anxiety and hope, but they knew John was in good hands. At the hospital, doctors worked to treat John's injuries. Sarah stayed by his side, comforting him as much as she could. The children were taken care of by kind hospital staff, who provided them with food and warm blankets. The next few days were critical, but the doctors were optimistic about John's recovery. The incident had a profound impact on the Walker family. They realized how fortunate they were to have survived such a dangerous encounter. The importance of secure food storage in bear country was now clearer than ever. The family decided to share their story with others in their community to raise awareness about the risks of living in close proximity to wildlife and the necessary precautions. As John recovered, the family made plans to reinforce their cabin and improve their food storage methods. They attended community meetings and participated in workshops about wildlife safety. Their experience brought the community closer together as neighbors shared tips and resources to keep each other safe. The Walkers also took time to reflect on their life in the wilderness. They loved the beauty and solitude of their remote home, but they knew they had to be prepared for the challenges it brought. The children learned valuable lessons about respect for nature and the importance of being vigilant. In the months that followed, John's strength returned, and the family resumed their daily routines. They continued to live off the land, appreciating the peace and beauty of the Alaskan wilderness. The memory of the bear attack remained with them, a reminder of both the dangers and the resilience required to live in such a wild place. Through their ordeal, the Walker family grew stronger and more united. They were grateful for the help they received and committed to ensuring their home was as safe as possible. Their story served as a powerful reminder to all who lived in bear country about the importance of preparedness and respect for the natural world. The Walkers' experience highlighted the delicate balance between humans and wildlife. It underscored the need for awareness and education about living safely in remote areas. The family's journey of recovery and resilience became an inspiration to others, showing that even in the face of great danger, strength and unity can lead to survival and growth. On July 25, 2021, a group of friends embarked on an adventure through Norway's stunning fjords. The group consisted of Alex, Ash, Ben, and Zoe, all experienced kayakers with a love for nature. They had planned this trip for months, excited to explore the majestic landscapes and serene waters of the fjords. Their journey brought them to a secluded beach surrounded by towering cliffs and dense forests. The beauty of the place was breathtaking, and they decided to camp there for the night. The group set up their tents, secured their kayaks, and prepared a simple dinner by the campfire. As the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, they shared stories and laughed, enjoying the peaceful evening. Unbeknownst to them, the scent of their food had attracted an unwelcome visitor from the forest. A Eurasian brown bear, drawn by the smell, quietly approached their camp. The bear, large and powerful, moved through the trees, its senses heightened by the promise of an easy meal. In the middle of the night, the tranquility was shattered by a loud noise. The bear had entered their camp and was now swiping at one of the tents. The friends woke up in a panic, realizing the danger they were in. The bear, agitated and hungry, continued its attack, and Ben, who was inside the tent, was injured by the bear's powerful swipe. The rest of the group sprang into action. Alex grabbed the bear spray, while Ash and Zoe started shouting and making loud noises to scare the bear away. The combination of the spray and the noise worked, and the bear retreated into the forest, leaving the camp in disarray. With the immediate danger gone, the friends turned their attention to Ben. He was in pain and had a deep cut on his arm. They quickly provided first aid, using their medical kit to clean and bandage the wound. Knowing they needed help, Alex signaled for assistance using flares. As the flares lit up the night sky, they hoped someone would see their distress signal. The calm waters of the fjord reflected the light, creating a surreal and eerie scene. They stayed close to Ben, comforting him and keeping him warm, waiting anxiously for a response. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the sound of a boat engine broke the silence. A nearby boat had seen their distress signal and was heading towards them. Relief washed over the friends as the boat drew closer, its lights piercing through the darkness. The crew on the boat quickly assessed the situation and helped Ben aboard, carefully moving him to ensure he was as comfortable as possible. The boat set off towards the nearest village, where medical help awaited. The journey was tense but filled with hope. Ash, Alex, and Zoe stayed close to Ben, offering words of comfort and reassurance. The gentle rocking of the boat and the sound of the water provided a sense of calm amidst the chaos. Upon reaching the village, Ben was rushed to the local hospital. The medical team acted swiftly, treating his injuries and ensuring he was stable. The relief among the group was palpable as the doctors assured them that Ben would make a full recovery. The quick response of the boat crew and the efficient medical care made all the difference. In the days that followed, the friends reflected on their harrowing experiences. They realized the importance of proper bear safety protocols, even in well-known tourist destinations like the fjords. Their adventure had taken an unexpected and frightening turn, but it also brought them closer together and taught them valuable lessons about preparedness and respect for wildlife. As Ben recovered, the group stayed in the village, taking the time to learn more about the local wildlife and safety measures. They attended workshops on how to store food securely and how to respond to wildlife encounters. These lessons were invaluable and reinforced their commitment to being responsible adventurers. Eventually, they returned to their homes, grateful for the outcome and the support they had received. The memory of the bear attack remained a vivid reminder of the unpredictability of nature. They shared their story with others, emphasizing the importance of being prepared and staying vigilant. Their journey through the fjords, despite the frightening encounter, left them with a deeper appreciation for the beauty and power of nature. They vowed to continue exploring the world with a newfound respect for the wildlife they might encounter along the way. The experience underscored the need for awareness and education, ensuring that future adventures would be both thrilling and safe. On August 18, 2022, a couple embarked on a romantic retreat in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. Izzy and Lewis had met 5 years ago during a hiking trip and quickly bonded over their love for nature. Their relationship blossomed through shared adventures, leading to their marriage 2 years ago. To celebrate their anniversary, they decided to set up a cozy campsite by a picturesque lake near Banff National Park. The lake, surrounded by towering pine trees and majestic mountains, was a perfect spot for their getaway. They arrived in the afternoon, enchanted by the serene beauty and clear blue waters. After setting up their tent, they prepared a simple dinner. Enjoying the peace and quiet of the wilderness, the smell of their cooking filled the air as the sun set, casting a golden glow over the landscape. As the night settled in, Izzy and Lewis relaxed by the campfire, feeling a deep sense of contentment. Unbeknownst to them, the aroma of their meal had attracted an unexpected visitor from the forest. A black bear, hungry and drawn by the smell, silently approached their camp. The bear, sensing an easy meal, moved closer to the source of the enticing scent. Suddenly, the tranquility was shattered by the sound of rustling leaves. Izzy and Lewis looked around, trying to identify the source of the noise. Out of the darkness, the black bear emerged, startling them. The bear, feeling threatened and desperate for food, charged at the camp. In the chaos, Louis was injured as the bear swiped at him, leaving deep cuts on his arm. Izzy, seeing her partner in danger, sprang into action. She grabbed the bear spray from their emergency kit and aimed it at the bear, spraying it directly. At the same time, she made loud noises, hoping to scare the bear away. The combination of the spray and the noise worked, and the bear retreated back into the forest, leaving the camp in disarray. With the immediate danger gone, Izzy turned her attention to Louis. He was in pain and bleeding heavily from his wounds. Izzy quickly provided first aid, using the medical supplies they had packed. She cleaned and bandaged Lewis's injuries, knowing they needed professional help as soon as possible. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Izzy helped Louis to his feet, and they began their hike to the nearest ranger station. The trail was challenging, especially with Louis's injuries, but they pressed on, motivated by the need to reach safety. The dense forest and rugged terrain tested their endurance, but Izzy stayed strong, supporting Louis every step of the way. As they trekked through the dense forest, the night seemed endless. Izzy kept a close eye on Louis, ensuring he stayed conscious and focused. The trail was steep and uneven, making their progress slow and exhausting. The occasional sound of wildlife around them added to the tension, but Izzy stayed determined, her thoughts focused on reaching the ranger station. After what felt like hours, the first light of dawn began to break through the trees. The pale glow of morning gave them a renewed sense of hope. Finally, they spotted the small wooden building of the ranger station ahead. With their last reserves of strength, they made their way to the door and knocked, hoping for a quick response. The rangers inside quickly assessed the situation and called for an emergency airlift. They provided immediate care to Louis, cleaning his wounds more thoroughly and giving him pain relief. The ranger station was equipped for basic emergencies, but they knew Louis needed more advanced medical care. The sound of the approaching helicopter brought immense relief to Izzy. The helicopter arrived, and the crew efficiently prepared Louis for transport. Izzy was allowed to accompany him, and they were soon airborne, flying over the breathtaking landscape of the Rockies. The flight to the hospital felt much shorter than the arduous hike, and they arrived swiftly at a well-equipped medical facility. Doctors at the hospital immediately took charge, treating Louis's injuries with the expertise and care he needed. Izzy stayed by his side, grateful for the quick and professional response from everyone involved. The hospital staff assured her that Louis would make a full recovery, which brought immense relief to her exhausted mind. During Louis's recovery, Izzy and he reflected on their harrowing experience. They realized the importance of bear safety and proper precautions when camping in bear country. The encounter had been a stark reminder of the wild nature of the Rockies and the need for vigilance. They decided to use their story to raise awareness about bear safety among fellow campers and hikers. As Louis regained his strength, the couple began to share their experience with others. They spoke at local community centers, outdoor clubs, and schools, emphasizing the importance of proper food storage, carrying bear spray, and making noise to avoid surprising bears. Their story resonated with many, highlighting the necessity of preparedness in the wilderness. Their advocacy efforts extended beyond their local community. They wrote articles for outdoor magazines and participated in online forums, reaching a wider audience. They collaborated with park officials to create informative pamphlets and workshops about bear safety. Their goal was to ensure that others could enjoy the beauty of the wilderness while staying safe. The incident strengthened their bond, reinforcing their commitment to each other and their shared passion for nature. They continued to explore the great outdoors, but with a renewed respect for the wild. Their experience in the Canadian Rockies became a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between adventure and safety. Izzy and Louis's efforts led to increased awareness and better safety practices among outdoor enthusiasts. Their story served as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of education in preventing future incidents. The picturesque lake where they had camped became a place of learning and caution for many, a symbol of the lessons they had shared. Their journey, marked by courage and determination, inspired others to approach nature with both awe and responsibility. The couple's dedication to promoting bear safety left a lasting impact on their community and beyond, ensuring that the beauty of the wilderness could be enjoyed safely by all.